What's up, fam? Today, episode 6, Fundamental Works Conversations. Today, I got the privilege of having someone here who I coached back in the day and as of recent been working with the youth, urban youth, developing them mentally, and also having great real estate talks. We got none other than Diago Quinn here. Diego,
What's
tell
up?
him a little bit about yourself.
What's up, man? Pleasure to be here, first of all. Appreciate you having me. Man, just a young kid still trying to make a dream happen. That's all it is.
That's what it is, man. It's always about making the dream happen. And we come from inner city youth where the biggest dream is to make it to the NBA.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that's all that we're taught growing up. But as you grow up, you mature, you're able to build your own identity.
hmm
You come up with your own dreams and your own goals and things like that. You're somebody who's 6'10", 6'10".
Yeah.
0.001% of the world is 6'10". So
That's it.
your dreams are to play ball, but can you tell a little bit about how that started for you, basketball and stuff like that, and where you're at now?
Man, so my first introduction to basketball, I mean, probably seeing my father play on Sundays. We was definitely big in the church. I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so moved out here when I was about 6 or 5, actually. But I used to go see my father play in the gym and stuff like that. So that's my earliest introduction to basketball, I would say. Then when I moved here, I would say I didn't do nothing, maybe play in the park. So I understood basketball rules, right? That's all kids do. And then my mom was like out of nowhere, it's like freshman year of high school. She was like, "You need to go to Riverside Church." And she actually gave me a poster and was like, "Here, go here at 3 p.m. and there's a basketball team." And I was like, "What?" I was building Legos. I still have the car that I was building, ironically, right? So I just went. I mean, I went there. Big kid. I was probably pushing like I think the most I was at 284. Like that was like 6'5"
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So
Ninth grade Diego and this Diego are two different
definitely for
Diegos.
sure.
Respectfully, you were definitely looking like a football lineman back then.
And my mom tried to put me in football, and they when she described like my whole set, whatever, right? They were like, "No, he's too big to play with these kids," which is crazy when you watch The Blind Side, right? That story,
Yeah,
right?
yep,
The
yep.
side, whatever that is, and literally they were like, "Oh yes, put him wherever." So
So
I
then,
could have had a whole different life.
yeah. So then, you were in Randolph High School.
So A for the Brandolph. I just went there just to follow my friends, as most kids do. I wasn't thinking too much. And then once I went there, did the tryout, whatever. They were like, they just gave me a pair of shoes and a basketball, and then that was it from there.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to my brother, Coach Gonzalez, out there, A. Philip Randolph, still out there working with the youth and everything.
hmm
I remember I used to go there and I used to be like, yo, we got to get this kid handle. We got to get him jumping from the free throw line. And he used to be like, yo, we got to get this kid a scholarship. He just has to run from rim to rim.
Man, that was probably the best thing I did. Like even looking back, like when I finally got ranked in the city, right? Or the state. I think it was the state. It was like raw talent, but could run and could rebound, big frame, like kind of thing. So yeah, I got that definitely from Coach P.
Yeah, listen, man. You've done so many great things in this world, and basketball has opened so many doors for you. But obviously, basketball is not who we are. Basketball is just something that we do.
hmm
Um, can you talk a little bit about your basketball resume? You had an amazing run in college. You went to Monmouth University. You guys did some phenomenal historical NCAA things.
Yeah.
How was that?
Man, we'll start off with like even choosing the school. Like I felt like it was a perfect fit. I remember not really now kids going to go to as many college tours as possible, right? Visits, because that's like the thing. Like I was like, if I had like four criteria. It's just like if it plays on TV or Division 1. But I mean not to toot my own horn, but I wasn't going to D2 or not like that. So luckily, God bless, right? So D1 played on TV, was close to home so my mom could see me play because that was a big thing. And that actually let me play. Like I had to play. I didn't want to sit out. I got like PTSD from Randolph, ironically, for not playing my freshman year or sophomore year. So I wanted to play. Those are my four criteria, and Monmouth was right there.
Yeah, and look, listen, you're talking about D1, right? That itself is a big dream.
Mm,
Only 20,000 men in the world get to play in the NCAA, Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3.
mm.
So that's a milestone in itself. And then you get to Monmouth, you're on campus. Tell me about that experience.
I mean, it was, I would say surreal, but I never really, which I'm learning now to do is like live in the moment because I was so, bring up like Kobe, like obsessed with this idea. like since I like got to like understanding what basketball was, it was like the NBA. I had to, it was drilled in me. It was like you're tall, you got to go to the NBA, you got to go to college, you got to get your like the be rich, get your mom out the hood, like all that kind of stuff. So that's the only thing that was a goal. So being in college, I didn't really take it in as much as I should have because it was like I felt like I was supposed to be here.
And you know, we're here. We're, like the name of the show is Fundamental Works.
Hmm.
You talk about mindset. You're talking about Kobe, the Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
You're somebody who's relentless. You're a relentless warrior. When you were playing the game, when you were not playing the game, I've seen you take the game of basketball and all the tools that it's given you and apply it to every single day life. So, can you talk a little bit about your mentality and the mindset and what it takes to do the things that you do, whether it's basketball, real estate, finances, and things of that nature?
Man, I just think not to give a simple answer, but it's like you either want or you don't. I feel like that's just how I always looked at things as a kid. It's like, what else better do I have to be doing at this moment, right? You can't say you want something and then nothing in your life reflects that that is true. You know what I mean? So for me, it was like, if I have a goal, then that's what it is. You know what I mean? I don't want to lie to myself, kind of thing. And that comes from basketball. I get that completely from basketball. But if it's in something inside me, I mean, I guess I don't know if I was trying to be a doctor, it would have been the same way, right? Because even when I started playing basketball, I would be at the park practicing spin moves by myself, like with the rim, the double rim with no net. Like, you know how it is right over there. So it's
Yeah.
just like in the rain, it didn't matter because like there was a goal. So I kind of just try and keep that, not that it's who I am and rely on that, but like as a pillar of like my identity. So
Yo, listen, you talking about the double rims with no nets. You talk about all these things. You're from Washington Heights.
mm,
I've seen you for like 3 or 4 summers straight with your mom. Your mom rebounding and passing the ball. You know, like we talk about a mother's love. There's no such things like that. Your
mm.
mom was out there in the rain, the snow, the sun, 100 degrees, 0 degrees. She was out there every single day putting up reps. Talk to me about you and your mom's relationship.
Man, it's amazing. I would say it definitely changed in high school. Because she played basketball at a high level. People don't know that because she don't all the trophies and stuff back in the days you used to get, and it would be all there. We don't have any of that stuff because when we moved, we never brought any of that. But she was like highly touted in high school as being like a undersized five as well. So boxing out and knowing how to play the position, jumping high, all that kind of stuff. Like she knew that kind of stuff and what it took, so she would help me, right? So it's like one of those things where the parents kind of know what it takes and want to be there to help you because like who else do you have? You know what I mean? So my mom was like the biggest reason. She told me where to go, right? To go play, and this the whole thing come from her.
Yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't have been where I was or as far as I went without her for sure.
Yeah, your mom definitely has a motor and an engine. She pushed you to the brink of almost falling off the edge, but I feel like
Hmm.
she's the one that also helped you instill that mentality, and it comes from the family. The apple doesn't fall from the tree.
Hmm.
But you said that your mom had the pro mentality and all these other things. Can you speak a little bit about your basketball professional resume? Because this is not a interview about basketball. This is an interview about transitioning in life.
Yeah,
This is an interview about how sometimes your dreams in basketball, NBA as a 5-year-old, 10-year-old don't work out, but the dream works out the way it's supposed to work out.
yeah.
So, a little bit about your pro resume.
So professionally, so didn't think I would play pro just because last season was it was a rough season in college. So in my head, I remember my freshman year talking to the Spurs, having that be a thing, and then senior year was like I wasn't hearing from nobody. It was already I graduated. It was June, right? So shout out to Jamar Smiley, man. He actually I don't know if it's tampering, but I remember he came with Coach Rice to my high school out in Chicago. And he's I don't know if he still is or not, but he was a agent for BDA Sports. So Luka Doncic, who else is on there? Rajon Rondo was on there. There's a lot of guys. So
Links.
yeah, exactly. So I was just when I got the call from him, you know what I mean? It kind of just that's where I got this tattoo from because I didn't think it would happen. You know what I mean? I didn't know how far it would go. And he was just like, "Yeah, man, like as far as you want to take this thing, like I'm with you. We can ride. Let's do it. I believe in you. I've seen you grow since high school. So first thing I have to say is just because that's a start, right? was obviously the draft, right? So 2019, graduate in June or May, and then obviously the draft is right there in June. So, he was like, "Yeah, let's get ready for that." And in my head, I'm like, "Ready for the NBA draft?" Like, I don't know how this works, but I'm just here. My whole life, it's kind of just been putting my head down, and then things just appear, kind of thing.
Like he wore the
Just
Batman suit and all that other stuff, as in
yes.
Charlotte, Dallas, all that stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. So he was my I was like, "Oh shit." He opened the door. I was like, "What's good, bro?" Like, dabbed me up, and I was like, "Oh, I know him," but you don't want to fan out, especially with people that's like your competition. But like, I wasn't sure what was going on. So get there, he was like, "Yo, we got to shoot around at 11, whatever, whatever." So I'm like, "Cool." I'm just in there. I still have the pictures on my IG, like as a memory. Like I'm just in the room, but I couldn't. I was shaking. We have our first workout. There's other pro guys there. Met some guy that was a point guard from Illinois who was there. So a bunch of guys. We're just shooting, working out. If I show you the place, it's like something USA. You've definitely seen the gym before. And so we work out there, get some shots in, get some dunks in, just going through because it's like the what you'll be doing during the draft showcase, I guess I'll call it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, we do that. They get some food afterwards, chop it up, you know what I mean? So again, to pick the brains of these guys or a high level, right? So I'm like, cool. Next day, I was only there for 2 days. So next day, that was the day, right? So I remember not really being able to sleep. I remember listening to like I was watching Kobe movies. I was watching everything. Like, there was a day. So we go to the UCLA, right? The gym. If you ever watch
The
Rick
runs,
Hines and the runs,
the
it's that
runs.
gym. Now, mind you, I had been there before when we played UCLA, my first college game. That's where we worked out at. So the irony behind the whole, like, where life comes full circle is one of those moments for real.
Yo, listen, man. I know you talking about the NBA draft, the workouts, and we're about to go get into
Yeah, yeah.
Spain and all these other things.
Okay, yeah.
But you guys beat UCLA in the NCAA tournament.
Not the tournament. It was the first game of it's like my player. My first game as a
Yes.
freshman of my freshman season was UCLA, and we beat them. And I played like 30 minutes. I had like 8 points, 4 rebounds, and it was like tough. I had free throws. It was a neck and neck game. We won by like six. So
Yeah.
every possession mattered. And yeah, I mean, it was just a surreal moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That team that you were on, you guys were a mid-major. You guys beat Notre Dame that year
Yeah.
and Georgetown,
Yep.
right? And
So yeah.
what were the things that brought that team so close together? Like what were the special things about that team, like off the court, that allowed you guys to succeed?
Off the court.
Like, because sometimes like a lot of teammates, they spend a lot of time playing video games with each other. They go
Yeah.
out
I
to eat
mean,
all the time. They go to
yeah.
Dave and Buster's. They in the weight room. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people just think that they can, oh, we just hooping and that's it. But to
Yeah.
beat teams of that high caliber with
Mhm.
5-star recruits and everything like that, there needs to be some type of chemistry, meshing, and
For
things of
sure,
that
no, for
nature.
sure. Getting there, I gotta just say from the perspective of somebody, you ever just pull up and the food's already ordered and done, like it's there? That's how it was, to be honest. Like I just had to find my seat and play my role. You know what I mean? And those guys, they had that camaraderie building since they were fresh. So I kind of just got here and they're like, "Yo, young fella, just fit in and do what we say. We got this." They was already on their way. So I was like, "Bet." I'm one of those guys. It's like I could just fit in. Let me know what's going on. Cool. Motions aside, none of that. I didn't want to be the man. I wasn't interested in that. It's like, yo, how can we get this done? I didn't know how special the group was until like when you're in the middle of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And now you got this. So those guys built that camaraderie and did all the ups and downs, and then this was their year. Just so happened to be my freshman.
Awesome, awesome. So at the end of the day, a lot of camaraderie,
Hmm.
bouncing all over the place, meeting an agent, NBA draft in LA, NBA workouts,
Yeah,
full circle moment, first team you beat, first gym that you're working out in the next
literally.
day. NBA doesn't work out, obviously.
So
So what were your next
with the
steps?
NBA thing, right? To this day, you know how people have regrets and stuff they would have done different. Like, I wish I would have talked to that girl. Like, I wish I would have. One of the things I would say is that I wish I would have took the G League route, right? Because it was either G League, it was for the Indiana Band or Spain. Which is like it was Leb Gold, which is right under ACB, which is where all the money's at,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So that was a good league to start out with.
The ACB is the best league outside of the NBA,
You think
and
so?
it's one of them. It's definitely in the top
Let's see.
three,
I think
and then under that one is the one that you were
so Leb
looking at.
Gold, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like I get more money. I can get more money if I go play in Spain. It's also get to experience and travel, which has really been like one of my underlying things. Getting to see the world, travel, be on your own, that kind of thing. And for me, it was like that, or you could stay here and work directly under the light that could be very bright. It is cutthroat. You know what I mean? So it was like my journey has always been like progressing and getting better. and then things come. So in my head, I was like, okay, I don't mind going the Europe route and maybe putting on a few years, getting some experience of being pro, right? And then maybe make that transition to the league, right? While
Gotcha.
the G League was like, if you get in the G League, you got to perform now. You underneath it, you there, and you get a sense of it still. But it could be, So I was like, you know what? I take the Spain route. You know what I mean? I don't mind doing maybe 2 or 3 years, getting the field, playing against grown men, and understanding also Euro basketball and how far that the fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
Like over there, we started the warm ups doing jump stop pass, jump stop, like little stuff that you would never think of.
Yeah, man. That's why to me the fundamentals are the most important thing. The fundamentals of sports, the fundamentals of lifting weights, the fundamentals of investing.
Hmm.
When you master the fundamentals, you become a genius, you become a wizard of whatever it is that you're practicing in. So for me, like you're talking about hop steps and pivots and these and those. Yo, Kobe Bryant, Carmelo Anthony, Paul Pierce, they mastered the pivots. They
Hmm.
the four pivots, the reverse, the regular. So it's like when you master the fundamentals, it's no secret that you're gonna have success in life. And I feel like just from being around you, especially in the last 2 years, us waking up 5 in the morning,
Yeah.
getting up,
Shout out
still
Fox.
yeah, yeah, shout out to my man Fox, man. Still working out. But obviously, like we're working out for a different goal now, right? We're working out to stay young forever. We're working out to stay in shape, to burn some calories, and have fun at the same time. It's not like we're working out to go to the NBA anymore, right?
Yeah.
So, how do those fundamentals that you learned throughout your whole entire life help you where you're at today?
It helps keep me I would say grounded. You know what I mean? Like the easiest thing to do is like learn something new and then get feel like all the old stuff or the basics don't matter, right? And then you start to see how basics are in everything. You know what I mean? Like a strong foundation. You can't build a house without a strong foundation. You try and it's just that's just the way life works. Don't.
Yeah.
So it's like for me, I just try and keep that in mind as things start to move fast, right? You start to master the basics and start to get the hang of it. You start to pick up other things. You can't lose the basics.
Yeah, listen, so something that I live by is the basics. The basics will take you so far in life. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, you just got to keep it basic, master the basics, and keep moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So now that, post basketball or whatever it is, you're somebody who's heavily invested in your mindset, your nutrition,
Yeah.
your fitness, your finances. Obviously, now you're a grown man and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? You're in real estate right now, and you've gone up the different ranks of real estate. And right now, you're doing leasing consulting, and you're working for great companies, and you do some other work on the side. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when I officially was like, I'm retired, you know what I mean? I was like, there's like three main, you still want to make money. That's still to get things done, you need money. You need money, right? So real estate, right? Finance and tech. Those are the three. So I was like, all right, which one of those can I get in? Now, mind you, I was cognizant of where we are, right? And you have to be cognizant of who you are and be able to think of like, all right, I just have a bachelor. I've done nothing but play basketball and I have a bachelor's. Like, how can of course, I think I'm hardworking, other things that you take from basketball. I'm coachable, right? I can learn very fast. But like when you go to a job interview or you try to apply for a job and you have nothing on your resume, but all these countries you played in, it sounds good. It sounds like a good story, right? And people will they'll listen to you and interact with you that way. But now it's like, okay, how can you like help our company? How can you impact the ROI? Like, what does that come down to, right? So for me, I was like, you know what? I think I'm a good people person. Traveling the world, that was a big thing I would say is like the language barriers, right? Meeting different teammates and having that and still being able to be likable. We in the World Cup right now, and I'm let you know, most countries don't like Americans.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Like when people look at us, they look at us from outside of America. They
Yes.
look at us as entitled.
Hmm.
They look at us as the bullies
Yeah.
and all these other things. And it has a lot to do with capitalism, and it has a lot to do with how we go to these third world countries
Yeah.
or Caribbean countries for vacation, and we act like we just own the place.
Yeah.
So most definitely,
Hmm.
um, basketball has allowed you to travel and see the world and expand your horizons and expand your perspective on life, right? Where are some places that you tried out or you played for? And because
So
I know that COVID, injuries, a lot of things happen
yeah.
at a very funny time.
Yeah.
So like that's what people need to understand. Like
Yeah.
I want them to let you know, one, this guy's 6'10". He has a great resume. He's a great people person. He's a hard worker,
Yeah,
and things are supposed to work out exactly how they're supposed to work out.
yeah.
So, talk to a little bit about your passport and your pro experience.
So first experience with basketball was China in high school. So
China.
yeah. So while kids were going to prom, trying to wear the suit and do the whole thing, right? I was playing in China on two weeks. I was in China for 2 weeks on like a world tour kind of thing. So it was a USA team, which is crazy full circle. I'm gonna get back to that. Shout out to my boy Eric. USA team. We're playing against Lithuania, China, different countries in this area. We're just kind of traveling around playing in different arenas, right? So that was my first introduction to basketball as far as abroad goes, right? Then Spain, Germany. Then I went to Georgia. After that was Czech Republic. Oh no, it was DR, Dominican Republic. Then it was Czech Republic, and then I went to Canada. After that, it was Canada for 2 years, and that's where I ended.
And then the injury.
Yeah. So as someone who never got injured, my whole high school career, like if I had an injury, I just played through it and kind of shook things off. College, there's an asterisk next to someone else, Marcus, I have the record for playing the most games. So since my freshman year, I played every single game.
That's a
So, but
warrior.
now because of COVID, people got more years. Technically, somebody played more games than me, but there's an asterisk there with COVID.
Yo,
So
listen. That's something like, and that means a lot, you know. All right, this guy was the Mikel Bridges of Monmouth over here, right?
durability, being a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
being a
yeah. But the best ability is availability,
exactly.
right? So, and something that you've always been is you've always been available. You've always supported. You've
Hmm.
always worked out hard. Yeah, man. Listen. This man is a man of value, a man of integrity. This man is a man of a dying breed. He's come from a different cloth. The mindset and everything that he's doing in life is remarkable. And I'm so proud of you, man, because like there's so many kids out there that are gonna listen to this episode and they think that they want to be basketball players and they only think that because
Yeah,
that's the only dream that they're sold when they're 14, 15, 16 years old.
yeah.
And for you to become a great man, graduate, have a bachelor's degree, take care of your body, take care of your finances, and be in the real estate game and do all the remarkable things that you're doing, I'm super proud of you, man.
Appreciate you, man. Love you, bro.
Love you too, bro.